We are fewer than 200 days away from Election Day, 198 to be exact. Polling indicating that Americans are bummed out about the repeat contest between President Biden and former President Donald Trump. Okay, whatever. But does that mean they're not going to turn out to vote? Let's dive in. Okay, here's your first magic graphic from Dr. Caleb Parker. 54% say they're more enthusiastic about voting this year than they were in previous elections. Okay, so that's actually not terrible. That's non-terrible. And here's something you should know. There is a iron correlation between this poll, this is Gallup's poll, and actual turnout in elections. Now you see that there's a delta between, and this is every election this century, you see that there is sometimes a delta between what people say they're going to do and what they do, but you see that they're tightly correlated. The higher the enthusiasm expressed at this point, the higher the turnout. That matters because, why? It matters which party turns out more. Oh, there you go. Republicans, 24 by 24 points. They're more enthusiastic compared to 13 for Democrats. That's a net advantage for Republicans of 11 points. They're more enthusiastic about voting than Democrats are. So what does that usually mean? What would that usually mean? That would mean, well, that might mean that's what would happen in the other case. But let's look at the picture of the Republican faces. And then when you see all these Republican faces, you're going to love it. There they are. Remember these guys? So these are the elections in which Republicans led in net enthusiasm. And this is at the end of the campaign. But this is how you win. Except for Mitt Romney, hardest hit in 2012. He lost. But in all of the elections that George Bush won and the one that Donald Trump won, the Republicans had the edge. What happens when Democrats lead? Now you can show the Democrats. Now you'll show the Democrats. Or you can show this poll, because you already showed that, which is that in the years in which Democrats have the advantage, you see what happens there. What year stands out? 2012. That's the one that stands out, is that the Republicans that's the year that Democrats won despite having the disadvantage on voter enthusiasm. And it was exactly the same disadvantage that Democrats have this time around. What does this tell us? This tells us it's going to be a pretty close election. And it's going to be a pretty close election where? In Pennsylvania, where we are doing it all over again. And that has been our time with charts and graphs. That has been your time with charts and graphs. Okay, panel. Eliana, I'm starting with you again. I want to know, the 2012 election was the disappointing election for Barack Obama because it wasn't as good as 2008. But it does sort of have a roadmap for how an incumbent Democrat can win when there is lowered enthusiasm. And it's by doing what? It's by making it not a referendum on the incumbent, but just making it about the Republican challenger.
Maybe, but I don't think there are a lot of lessons that Joe Biden can draw from Barack Obama because, and this is where I think Trump actually benefits Republicans as a candidate. I think there are a lot of Republicans who are really enthusiastic about having Trump as the nominee. Yeah. He brings that passion. I don't think there are a ton of Democrats. Look, Biden's allies may say that, just as they say he's young and sprightly and has a lot of energy. But I don't think there are a lot of Democrats who feel that way about Biden. However, I do think there were a lot of Democrats who felt that way about Barack Obama, which is why he was able to overcome those deficiencies.
Okay, Julia, turnout is king here. Yeah. If the turnout is like 2016, which is low turnout, right, then Donald Trump can win. If turnout's like 2020, which was the highest turnout of any presidential election in the modern era, then Donald Trump probably can't win. What the Gallup numbers tell us is that turnout lands somewhere between, frustratingly, the turnout lands somewhere between those two, between 2020 and 2016. Am I right in my assessment that it's turnout, that Biden wants a bigger electorate and Trump wants a smaller electorate?
You're absolutely right. And just to piggyback off of what Eliana just said, you know, when we look to the enthusiasm among Democrats, it's not only just a lack of enthusiasm. I think there's a real disappointment, a real concern among major parts of the Democratic coalition that helped get Barack Obama to victory in 2008 and also in 2012. When you look to a state like Michigan, you have young voters, young progressive voters who are very upset with Biden's handling of the war, Israel and Gaza. And then if you want to zero in even more, you have Arab American voters who are upset in a swing state like Michigan. And you also have, I just think, Democrats who aren't happy with the choice of Joe Biden. They wish it was a different candidate.
Thanks for watching. Go to joinnn.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.